What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another week of the GZ Chop Shop. As always, I am your host, Project Itachi, joined by my co-host and good friend, Warner's, having a hard time talking this week. It's been a really busy week, so I hope you guys can bear with me. Been doing a lot of editing and getting a lot of stuff rolled out for you guys, so you guys can have an amazing episode. So, without further ado, let's just jump into this. Has been a very busy week in tech in general and gaming as well. And I just want to kick things off by saying, man, these hackers are ballsy.
Did you see that thing I had showed you that someone said that the GTA 6 leaked gameplay or the leaked trailer or whatever looked on par with an unfinished Ubisoft game?
Yes.
So no one really saw the problem.
No one really saw the problem.
It was like a joke.
Yeah.
Fucking cracked me up.
And for anyone who's tuning in and wants to know what's going on, Take-Two Interactive's developer Rockstar Games had a major invasion. They were recently hacked, and not little bits of information, but 50 minutes of video of Grand Theft Auto 6 was released across the internet. First found on a forum, and then it spread like wildfire from there, so much so that Rockstar Game had to issue DMCAs to YouTube videos and social media threads that were advertising any parts that were part of this leak. And it was pretty bad, because anyone who knows Take-Two and Rockstar, they're really tight-lipped about their games. Like, they don't put more out than they're ready to. And they usually let the gamers and flashy trailers do the marketing for them. And usually the trailers are like right before the game's about to come out and they have pretty much a finished product. And it seems like this hacker, who's very proud of themselves, by the way, decided to take matters into their own hands and go in, release this unfinished footage. And now they are hoping to negotiate with Rockstar to basically say, hey, cut a deal with me to prevent me from releasing the rest of this content and the source code for GTA 5 as well, which would do possibly irreparable harm to Rockstar, because the source code, that's no small thing. That's the bread and butter of what makes their games work. And it would also give access to their online interface. And the one thing that right now Rockstar is thriving off of is GTA 5 Online. That's kept GTA 5 alive for almost a decade. Because GTA 5 dropped in like 2013. It's still been going strong, but everyone's like, hey, where's GTA 6? But GTA 5 is making them like 2.5 million a day in microtransactions. So, they've been milking it for all they can get. And now they have this leak. And I have some theories, as always. You guys know on this show, I love my theories. I have some theories on what really got this whole thing to unravel. Because for anyone who doesn't know, the same hacker, they're taking credit for not only hacking Rockstar, but also saying they hacked Uber earlier as well. For anyone who doesn't know, Uber had a major security breach, which is actually serious, especially with how big Uber is and how many people personal information runs through Uber. That's something that's extremely serious. And this hacker's saying they're responsible for both. Now, first of all, for them to be this ace hacker, it's already been surmised that this person is 18 years old. I guess they put out that they're 18 years old. So the first thought I had was these daggone Gen Zers.
They're looking for all the smoke.
They are really looking for all the smoke.
They're like one more crime away from just dropping their own name.
For real. And I have some, like I said, I have some theories on why this happened. One, all parties involved are to blame. I definitely do not give a pass to Rockstar. They kind of brought this on themselves, and I'll explain why. Gamers, as always, anything that happens in the gaming community, we have to take some accountability for. So we are at fault as well. And these hackers, well, they've always been a problem. But let's be honest, 10, 20 years ago, no one would have cared if a hacker did what they did now to a game company. But because of the evolution of games and how popular they are now, hackers are thriving off of doing
all
this.
of our personal information is
In
pretty
games
much
now.
out there. We're not just playing a game on a console anymore. You know, when these hackers do what they do now, personal information gets involved, whether it's personal information from the company employees or from us, the gamers.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, this is becoming a more serious problem than it was if it had happened even a few years ago. We're more integrated in life than we used to be, and like you said, when Uber was hit, like that was a big issue for the same thing.
Yeah, we're literally more plugged in. Our entire lives are plugged in. So I'm going to read an excerpt from the article, and I will put the link in the description for anyone who wants to read this for themselves. But Rockstar confirmed Monday morning that it suffered a network intrusion where confidential information, including, now, like you were just saying, you know, being plugged in and our lives being connected, it says confidential information, including early development footage for the next Grand Theft Auto, was illegally obtained by a third party. The admission seemingly confirms that the host of the leaked Grand Theft Auto 6 videos that hit the internet over the weekend. And it seems like how this hacker works is they get in contact with an employee and trick the employee into granting them access into the systems that then they can get all this information from. Now, if they were tricked or if it's an inside job from disgruntled employees working in cahoots with this hacker, we'll never know. It just paints a more easy victim picture if they just say, we were unwillingly intruded, but I wouldn't say, you know, I wouldn't completely scratch off disgruntled employees helping these hackers out. Because maybe,
I mean, do they have any 18-year-olds that they know?
You know, yeah. And then the hacker themselves, who claimed the videos were obtained via Rockstar employee Slack, made unsubstantiated claims that they were also behind a massive recent Uber data breach, which also took place via Slack. The hacker also said they were looking to negotiate a deal with Rockstar to potentially prevent the release of more footage and information, including copies of GTA 5 and 6 source code and a GTA 6 testing build. Release of that kind of code could be incredibly damaging to Rockstar, potentially giving hackers even greater opportunity. Keywords are even greater, meaning they already have the opportunity to do this, to mess with the stability of the game's online modes.
Talk about flexing, because, you know, when you're dealing with hackers, a lot of the times there's like a ransom or something that they want in return, or there's a purpose behind it. Maybe it's they're trying to, you know, push some kind of agenda or claim some kind of higher morale, like moral ground. This dude's just apparently doing it for fucking fun. Apparently that's just what it seems like, because no other information's come out at this time besides someone who is claiming to take credit for other hackings in the past. And they're just doing it. Nothing's coming of it. They're not gaining anything. They're not saying, you know, my name is XYZ for fame. So what are they getting out of it? They're just doing it for fun.
Notoriety, being able to say, because this is something about the common generation. I know.
Did they say anything about personal information at all, or is it just like codes and stuff?
So that's the thing. They just said confidential information. That could be anything. I mean,
true. Yeah, true.
If they're going as far as 5 and 6, that could be the accumulated microtransaction information, names, addresses, credit card numbers. So that entails a lot, which in turn, I just want to say, if now you've got all of us as users signing these terms and conditions and agreements, then y'all need to really step up security, because we're agreeing to your terms and we're abiding by it, but you can't even protect what we're agreeing to. And now you've got this 18-year-old hacker just coming in and ruining not just your day, but our day as well. How can I trust you in the future and continue to invest in your product when some Joe Schmo 18-year-old can just walk in and be like, you know what? I just feel like ruining somebody's day. Hack. And
it hit Take-Two's stock prices,
hard.
not too terribly hard, but 3% is fairly decent.
I thought it was more than 3%. I thought they went like,
I think it was just 3%.
Yeah, I heard that they had it just to show how fickle not only investors but gamers as well can be. And with all that release of the test footage, mind you, they've been working on GTA 6 since 2014. And
here we go, Itachi. Sorry to cut you off, man, but a couple sources say 3%, and then IGN is saying 6%.
Okay, yeah.
So in that ballpark.
Yeah. So with all the footage that went out, just to once again show how fickle gamers are, mind you, it's early footage. They weren't done. They're not finished. No one's supposed to see this, and gamers are already talking about how bad the game looks. They're already turning their back on it.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm like, do you realize
it's unfinished game, you fucks?
Unfinished. You weren't even supposed to see this, and you're already complaining. They got to be Gen Z gamers. I'm sorry. I know I'm like ragging on Gen Z right now, but
you know, and that brings up, not to go down a rabbit hole, but it's a whole other topic. This in gaming, basically anything, you know, you might say is like nerdy, whether it's just like D&D, Lord of the Rings, fucking Star Wars, anime, gaming, whatever your thing is, it's like the level of toxicity and bitching and complaining is at an all-time high. And it's, you know, normally I don't care, it's whatever, but it's just in our face constantly about just all this complaining. It's like, what's enough? Do you want to come make the game? Everyone bitching and complaining. You go write this script for this show. You come make a game. Let me see you jump on Unreal Engine and make a game. What are you doing besides sitting there on the couch complaining that this game's not good enough for you?
Yeah.
Fuck you. Like, you do something. Show everyone how great you are.
And I got to say, I think
enough's enough.
I think the reason Take-Two and Rockstar did so well is because they knew that offering too much to us too early would be the death of them. Would Red Dead Redemption have been so well received and beloved if they had made such a big hoopla and announcements and all this about it? No, it would not have been. They waited till their product was literally pretty much finished before they even let us catch wind of it, because they know how gamers are. Because at that point, it's like, we're the worst customer. We're the worst. Because if you,
I really think out of every industry, gamers are the worst possible customer.
Yeah. Because if you tell us too early about what's coming, we are going to tear it down piece by piece.
No kidding.
Up to the day of release. And then we're going to, and you got to think, this person put in their love, their hard work. And then we get it, little peon so-and-so with no degree in gaming engineering or mythology, because these are people with degrees. I mean, to get into literal game design, game development, there are courses you have to take in like mythology and computer science, graphic engineer, all of this stuff that people went to school for and learned and honed their skills. And little Joe Schmo with his high Fortnite kill stats comes in and apparently knows better than a whole developing studio and says, well, this game is crap because it didn't have proper rain graphics, which a lot of people might laugh, but that was a real thing. Watch Dogs, Spider-Man, the whole water thing. That was a real thing.
Dude, someone could drop a real life, a visually like real life looking, all immersive virtual reality RPG, unlike anything you've ever seen, that would be so immersive and realistic. Imagine being dropped in, we'll say Elden Ring, and it feels like you're there and you are that player and you can run across the world like you are the main character and you feel like you're actually there, and it could be top notch, no game like it. It would still get torn apart.
Mm-hmm.
It would still get review bombed.
And I think, and this is where I start saying, I feel like here's the theories behind this hack. Take-Two kept games to themselves. It was really hard to shit on their games because by the time they told us, before all the gamers could get riled up to, oh, I could tear this apart, they were like, oh, by the way, it's coming out in like a month. It's done. So it doesn't really matter. And then we just had to accept it. What could you complain about if you didn't even know it was going to happen in the first place? What could you complain about? You can't. Game's done. So in that regard, it worked in their favor, but in this modern generation of now, it works against them. And because everyone has been foaming at the mouth for GTA 6, which if they really wanted GTA 6, the best way they've gotten them to start GTA 6 was to stop playing GTA 5. But if you keep playing GTA 5 and they're making 2.5 million a day,
that's so true too.
Why? I wouldn't stop either.
I don't know. We say that, then again, it's not like it's as popular game, but a lot of us, especially some of us slightly older gamers, we've wanted a Titanfall 3 for the longest time. Yet everyone stopped playing Titanfall 1. They shut the servers down. Not that many people really play Titanfall 2 anymore. Not to say it's not a good game, but those servers are still going after all these years. Yet no Titanfall 3.
Because you know why?
So that's not always the case.
You know why there's no Titanfall 3? To just prove my point again, Apex Legends.
I'm about to go down a rabbit hole on some shit because like we had a whole show signed up, but I just got to say this, okay? Because Overwatch 2 is coming out. It's dropping on October 4th, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Overwatch 1 servers are going to shut down October 1st. You will not be able to play Overwatch 1. And I believe if when you sign in with your your Blizzard account to Overwatch 2 and you were an Overwatch 1 player, X amount of stuff like carries over. I don't know all the details. If they're out, I haven't read them all. But everyone's like that. So many people, dude, it's insane. Overwatch has been dead for a long time. Who fucking still plays that shitty game? No one's going to like it. It's the negativity is insane. Yet I go to esports tournaments all the time and Overwatch is extremely, popular. And these same people are talking about Fortnite, how great Fortnite is and how great Valorant is, which they're great in their own right. They wouldn't be making money ultimately if they weren't great games in their own right. Okay. But don't sit there and tell me that these copycat games that are the same fucking game as Overwatch with different players and slightly different, tactics and gameplay, but it's based off the same shit. And you're going to sit there and tell me that Overwatch is the game that's dead and that this game's better or that this game sucks. Yeah, people are just talking just to hear themselves talk, but they don't really know what they're saying. They just don't like the game. Ultimately, I think they just don't like to play a certain game because they suck at it.
And to be completely fair, in the beginning, that was my feeling of Fortnite. I didn't like Fortnite because I sucked at it. But I was able to admit I sucked at Fortnite because I'm like, I didn't have the spammy fingers to make 4x4 blocks. Like I'm shooting at a person, they're about to die. And then they suddenly build a fortress around them. And it's like, oh, great. Now I got to shoot through your fortress to kill you.
A lot of times with the Fortnite players, what I've noticed playing is you're either really good at the PvP part or you're really good defensively or tactically at the building part. Few people are truly good at both.
Yeah.
And then you do get the people that are good at both and they just dominate.
Yeah.
And a lot of times those are the people you see that are, they're content creators and they're really popular and stuff. But few people are good at both of those things. It's hard it's hard to do both. And it is impressive when people can do both very well.
But yeah, I feel that this is Rockstar's style backfiring against them. And it sucks because that's how it should be. We shouldn't be presented anything until the product is ready. It protects your investment, our feelings, because apparently we're really up in those feelings now. And everyone's happy because Rockstar puts games out, and since you didn't know what you were going to get, you can't really hate it because you didn't know what you were going to get. So with
now people are going to try to pick and choose based off what they see, make assumptions and say, I want this change, I want that. Yep. And that might pressure them to do shit that they didn't want to do and take away the vision that they ultimately had for this game. And for all we know, had we just been quiet and let the game get finished, we might have received a better product than the one that we were demanding.
I already can foresee GTA 6 scoring lower. Even if it is the most phenomenal one, I can already see it scoring lower among all the GTAs because so much information has been leaked, and anyone who's not about change and anyone who is looking for any reason to complain now has one. And the gamers are already
back in the day, if a game was, I won't say the word leaked, but like if a game was even previewed in a magazine, you were excited. You're like, oh crap, this is what it looks like. I'm so excited. I remember that feeling. Yeah. You would get those previews, even if the game was a year or two out, you get those little previews here and there back in the day. And you were just excited to even get a glimpse at this game that you're going to wait another year or two for. But now it's the complete opposite. There's no excitement when you see this. There's just complaining.
Yeah. And
I'd like to know, I'd like to know if anyone's listening to this and you've been complaining and you saw the GTA 6 and you're whining and you're like, man, it looks like shit, or they should do this, or what's up. I want to hear from you. I'm all ears. Like, please hit us up on our website because I want to know what is going on. Go to our Instagram, go to our, join our Discord, whatever you need to do to reach out to us. Cause I would love to know what is making you as an individual so disgruntled about these leaked clips and these leaked pictures of GTA 6.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially since
maybe I'm the ignorant one. Maybe I'm missing something.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you because I want to know too, like, what do you expect from developers? What do you expect the games to be? And then the same way when we have conversations, like we put out there, like, well, this is, for me, I don't like microtransactions, and I can thoroughly explain why. Which leads me to the other point where another thing that's shot Rockstar in the foot probably is the fact they've been leaning so heavy on microtransactions and relying solely on GTA V. I mean,
I honestly, I will not blame. I do not blame these developers for having microtransactions anymore in their games. I don't blame them. It's the norm now, and they're trying to find a way. As greedy as it is, they're just utilizing what they know will make them more money. It is our fault. It is mostly the gamers' fault for being so okay with this for so long that it's the norm and it gets shoved in our faces. So when I play a new game and I see I can buy, a new character or skin or upgrade for $15 and just get a bunch of weapons, I'm not mad. It doesn't bother me anymore because they're just doing what they know will make them more money based off how we spend our money so ridiculously on games, all to turn around and still complain about the game. They know they can't make us happy, apparently, so they might as well just drain our bank accounts dry.
And they're definitely succeeding in that department. Which brings me to the other point about the hacker. Honestly, I think that was their ultimate goal. One, notoriety, because everyone goes for a big move in this modern society of, social media. And what happened to the day where hackers were so secretive that all people knew about them was their code name?
Literally anonymous.
Like, this person is undoing what made hackers so amazing. Like, they want to get on their soapbox and was like, it was me. I did it. I'm a hacker. I'm 18 years old.
Hackers are like anime supervillains now. They're like dropping down like, I'm Jonathan Gibbs, and there's nothing. I just made up that dumbass name off the top of my head. I'm Dr. Gibbs, and I am the hacker of, like fucking whatever.
They're,
you know what I'm
they're
trying
the
to say.
villain that tells you their whole plan when they think the hero's beaten. Like, oh, I haven't told you my evil plan.
What was the dude's name in Code Geass? What was the dude? The main Lelouch, yeah. And he had like the cape and the helmet on, and like that's what I picture hackers now when they like introduce themselves like a super villain. Like, get out of here.
Oh, they need to take notes from Lelouch on how to be a super villain.
Just get out of here with that shit.
But man, yeah, I think money was a factor.
Tired of it.
Probably in a hacking community. Who knows? Maybe they were being made fun of, and it's like, yeah, I bet you won't. And they go and they do this to try to build that notoriety and try to make money. I know back in the day, some hackers would hack to get themselves jobs. Like, hey, I hacked your security. If you hire me, I'll show you how not to let yourself get hacked. That was actually a thing. That was actually a thing. Now it's just,
I can't imagine going in a hospital and just treating patients without working there to get the job.
Just
like, sir, who are you? You have no badge. You're just in some scrubs. I'm like, it's okay. I'm the nurse.
Oh man,
get out of here, security.
But like, I would love to. I would love to find out their reason why, because like you said, there's been no demands. They're hoping to negotiate for what? Negotiate for what? What do you hope to gain out of this? Because I do not see Take-Two just rolling over. One, he already fucked up. They know you're 18 years old.
That narrows it down.
Yeah. So they're gonna be like, you know what? No, we're not paying no 18-year-old. And if I was Take-Two, to really piss off the hacker and the effort they put in, and then turn the gaming community against the hacker, I would say, hey, due to this leak, due to this hacker, GTA 6 is canceled indefinitely. Enjoy.
Now we know that obviously that won't happen because
not publicly.
Money.
I don't think it would happen
lose
publicly.
Money.
I don't think it would happen publicly, but now I think when it was going to come out is going to get pushed back. Because look what happened with the Dragon Ball movie.
They already came out with a message, and they said that it wasn't going to delay the. Well, that's what they said so far, though. I mean, maybe they'll change their mind. Yeah. All these, every time we turn around, these gaming companies are saying some shit. And
that's why they have PR teams.
Ubisoft's a great example of backpedaling lately.
That's why they have these are PR teams, because they know how gamers are. All right, gamers are going to get riled up. What do we tell them? Well, if we tell them we're going to push the game back, the cancel culture of gamers is going to come in strong. Okay, so we just tell them that the game is not getting pushed back. You know why they can say that? Because when is the game coming out? Exactly. There isn't a date for when the game is coming out. So they can still say it's coming out on time.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
So they can technically, they'll push the game back and then claim that was the date that they were going to release it in the first place, and we wouldn't be any
wiser. And we're so easily distracted. I would not be surprised if in the GTA universe they drop some dope ass microtransaction bundle or some cool weapons or something else to glaze this over in the coming weeks.
We keep this shit up, guys, and this is what's going to happen. All these game companies are going to go to Ubisoft and be like, "Hey, Ubisoft, you're great at releasing unfinished games and still making lots of money. What's the secret? Because we're just going to do that too. Because apparently we can't finish a game.
Yep.
Much less make them happy.
Yep. And so it's a hot mess. And I can't write off the board that competition may have hired the hacker. That's a possibility too.
I'm still looking at Ubisoft. Ubisoft is so on my radar right now after the shit they pulled recently. All fingers get pointed at them at all times. So I'm like, Ubisoft, it was them.
Ubisoft is literally
you know what? As soon as they were talking about how they were going to pull all their games from every platform. And then they backpedaled, and then they came out with, I'm going to increase my prices. So we talked about this, not to change the subject, but the point is, I look at Ubisoft with like scrutinizing eyes now. Every time something happens in the gaming industry, even if Ubisoft's name's not on it, I'm like, Ubisoft. What do you do?
Oh, it's kind of like Microsoft for me. I just blame Microsoft for everything.
Yeah. No, Microsoft's on my radar right now. Right now, it's just Ubisoft.
It's Ubisoft for you, Microsoft.
Watching y'all
for me.
motherfuckers.
I'm always
tired of y'all shit.
But yeah, so that's the status of that. So if you're a GTA player, keep an eye on your stuff, change your passwords, because they didn't really detail everything that got hacked. So
maybe don't save your credit cards and stuff on
if your kids play GTA,
right, whatever the case is,
stop giving them the credit card. Make sure they're not saving it in the system. But be mindful, and yeah. So now moving on. So next up, and this is something we've actually talked about pretty much about a year or so ago, and I think Yuli might have predicted this, not going the way he predicted, but how long it would take. I think he was spot on about GPUs and crypto mining. So I want to say it's about the beginning of COVID, GPUs started to become harder and harder to get. And it was so bad. It wasn't just affecting PC gaming, but it was affecting hardware across the board. Anything that needed a GPUs are becoming scarce because there was this big surge, especially in China, for crypto mining. And it was Ethereum. And these crypto miners were buying GPUs up in mass. I mean, they didn't care. They were, as soon as they hit the shelf, they were gone. They had bots, and it was so bad. Scalpers were making a killing off of GPUs.
Dude, it got so bad that I'm not one, like, I don't usually say anything to people on social media about their posts and stuff, but there were a handful of people that were posting their builds, people that have never, I don't know them to game. And they were posting pictures of their GPU builds for crypto mining. And I was getting pissed off.
And
I hope you lost all your damn money. Every single one of y'all.
They're pretty much out of jobs.
Y'all are real quiet now. Where's all that money at?
They're pretty much all out of jobs.
Two of you guys, I know two of them still working. Same job. What happened? You spent all that money on the GPUs and then everything crashed? What? You out broke now? Got nothing to say? No pictures to post?
Yep. Because now they got to get all those GPUs off their hands, and that's going to be, they're not going to get the money back that they spent. That's for sure. Because now,
justice.
So basically, it was what was called an Ethereum merge, which took cryptocurrency from proof of work to a proof of stake model. And I'm not an expert in it, but all I know is proof of work basically means it used more energy for the mining, which is why they were buying up GPUs. And proof of stake uses far less energy, and I think it cut it by 99.95%.
Which was also hilarious.
Yes. And just from the pictures I've seen of crypto mining GPU builds, I'm talking GPUs on top of GPUs. As far as the eye can see, laid out in the open outside. These are elaborate crypto mining builds. This is where all the GPUs went. And this could be one person's entire rig.
You know, there was a reason why for about a year and a half or so, for anyone who went online to purchase parts or build PCs through, a couple different websites, there were only 1060s and 1070s available, and then there were 380s available, but there were none of the 20s were there.
Yeah.
I bought a 2070 Super right before this stuff happened, and they were gone. And those were the most popular at the time because they were considered pretty much the best, and they were affordable. They weren't quite the 30s, but they definitely were better than the 10s, and they were gone.
Well, now they're about to hit the market. And in fact, not about to. They're hitting eBay and auctioning places in mass, so much so that Nvidia now is dealing with surplus, and that these guys are struggling so hard to get these GPUs off their hands that they're selling them below market value. And I'm at the point now, I'm like, no, I hope, and I because this is the petty in me, I hope every gamer just lets those people suffer with a room full of GPUs. Like, no. We don't want your secondhand GPU. You bought it. You keep your shit.
I don't want your used shit.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I would definitely never buy a used GPU.
Especially after crypto mining.
Oh my God, dude. I mean, you have no idea what the lifespan left on that thing is.
Yeah, for sure. And those things were running like 24/7. Like, they don't turn their rigs off. They run them 24/7. That's why there's such a massive energy consumption. So I'm like, no, you can keep your GPU. I don't care if you sell it for $5.
The profit you made went to paying the energy bill.
But yeah, apparently prices for the GPUs have plummeted. Going for less than the market value on eBay.
Are these new GPUs you're talking about? I said GPUs.
GPU.
GPUs.
So
it's a new type of graphics card, guys.
I think it's for, like you said, the 20 series, or honestly, I think it's across the board for GPUs.
Okay, because I would tell anybody who's looking to upgrade. I know the 30s are out there and they're considered the best, and they're working. The 40s series are in development, but guys, I'm telling you right now, the 2060s and 2070s are more than enough, especially if you have a decent CPU. Okay, I run an i9 900 with my 2070 Super, and I can run max graphics. I have good frames per second, so y'all don't need to spend all that money on a 30. If y'all can grab yourself a 2060 or 70 or the super versions of those, I highly recommend you guys do that. If that's the case, if you're saying that they're the sales are down, absolutely do that, guys. You will save money and you'll be very happy.
Yeah, I have an i7 with a 2060 and I run all of my games perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't need to run out and grab the 3080 just because you saw a ninja playing on the 3080 or your favorite streamers playing on the 3080. Remember, they're sponsored. They didn't pay for it, more than likely. It was sent to them for free to promote so that you would go spend your money and pay for it for them.
Yeah, I'm telling you guys, if you guys just have one or maybe two screens and you're not like a big time content creator, you're just like maybe you're a hardcore gamer, you guys don't need all that. I promise. I promise you. Don't go spending money, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to save you money here.
And if you find it on an auction site, I would also say, just like we were discussing, don't buy it secondhand. Let them suffer.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
Because you don't know what you're getting. You
imagine like you're like all excited. You start up the PC you build out of used parts, and it just goes. That's like you're about to get on and play that game. You're excited for the new, God of War or something, and you're about to play. Right when the graphics are needed, the game pops up, the story mode pops on, the theatrics.
It's just that,
and all you hear is the fan going.
It winds up just to wind right back down.
And then the last thing you hear is dead silence in your room because your PC just died.
You know what? But in the Microsoft fashion, Microsoft would at least give you the blue screen of death.
Yep.
And then it would say,
and I've had it on the PC, guys. I've had the blue screen on the PC. It's easier to fix on a PC though. Like if it happens on the console, you're probably shit out of luck. Yeah. But if it happens on the PC, it's much easier to mess with most of the time. So
could you imagine a message popping up after your PC goes, the blue screen pops up in Microsoft's, because your cheap ass
it just knows it can just read your parts. It's like we know what you did.
We know what you did. And right next to the parts it says cheap bastard, cheap, super cheap. This PC can't run Windows 11, 10, 9, 8.
Yeah, I said buy the 2060 Super. I didn't say buy this 2060 Super cheap. Say that. Jesus.
Yeah. But if you guys are looking to upgrade your rigs, you will be able to find graphics cards once again, brand new, because like I said, Nvidia is starting to have issues with surplus. Nvidia has actually got their hands full too, in the industry. It's just, there was so much stuff happening in tech. We literally couldn't even cover it all in one episode. I think one of their partners got out of the graphics game.
Yeah, I read about that. I forget who it was. Let me pull it up real quick. Actually, I have it here. I think I shared it on our Discord here. I have it right here. It was EVGA terminates relationship with NVIDIA, and apparently a lot of it came down to NVIDIA kind of controlling the prices and how much their partners make off of the deals and stuff. Yes. I don't know the details, guys. I just know EVGA is a huge partner with them.
Huge was.
And they're getting out of the market altogether. They're not going off to do their own thing. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I like with AMD with their graphics cards and their PC parts. Mm-hmm. I'm not super familiar with them. I just so happened when I got into PC gaming back 10 years ago or so, that's just the route I went when I went into like Intel and NVIDIA and stuff.
Yeah.
But I have plenty of friends that they use AMD, and I hear great things about them. I've considered using their parts. Point is, I think that they're going to surpass NVIDIA in the near future. Not in the way that's going to make NVIDIA like bring about their downfall or make them obsolete or, a far worse competitor.
Just give them competition.
I feel like with their partner pulling out and a lot of the issues that NVIDIA has had lately with their graphics card, we're going to start seeing AMD. And I wish I had the article with me, because I had read something a couple weeks ago regarding this. I'm not going to try to find it. I have no idea where it is, but basically it was kind of saying along the same lines that AMD, they're working on some processors and graphics cards that they fully believe that without a doubt they're going to be at a much more fair price and be much more powerful. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of years with that, I guess. But
yeah,
I'm interested to see what happens with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think Nvidia's shit's overpriced. I do. I mean, I don't doubt the power of the 30 series at all, but Jesus Christ, dude, their best versions are well up, or they were well up to like $1,500 or so dollars.
And once again, that ties to the boon and popularity of gaming and content creators, because a lot of people don't understand PC parts. And somewhere along the line, people asking, man, why does your game look so good? And then content creators answering out of either sponsorship habit or whatever said, oh, well, that's because I'm running a 3080 Ti. And people just...
And not mentioning, no one ever mentions their processor or their RAM or anything. The shit that is absolutely needed to run all that stuff smoothly.
And that's why processors are far cheaper than graphics cards.
You remember when a couple years ago I was kind of helping you look for parts because parts were scarce, and we were finding all those computer builds online, the pre-built computer systems, and so many of them had, and guys, I'm not joking, they had 3080s and 3080 Ti's with i3s, man, and people were buying them.
It's like, that computer is not going to last you, sir.
Yo, the computers we use at the hospitals, I've gone through like several of them just out of curiosity, like what kind of parts they use, and a lot of them use i3s, and they're all slow. They're all slow computers. I mean, they can barely handle the whole charting system and all that stuff. So I can't imagine trying to run just even a medium graphically inclined game.
When we found my computer, I remember I was like, look, I found this. And you were like, buy it.
Yeah, fucking buy it right now.
Buy it right now.
Because it's about to disappear.
Because it's ridiculous because everyone thrives on that graphics thing. And it's like, I don't understand. And that stems from content creators. That stems from live streaming and only half answering a question. Because it's like when you go to the store and you see a TV on display and you're like, man, that image looks good. It's almost like I can reach out and touch. But then you take that same TV home and you never see that image quality again. And I always tell people, I say, it's by design. Does it run what it says it can? Yes. But what they don't tell you is how to set it up to do that. All the intricacies.
Exactly. You ever go into a Best Buy or wherever you buy your electronics tech, right? And you see the those TVs and you're like, damn, that looks good. Mm-hmm. And maybe you bought that same TV and you've gone home and it doesn't look that good because you don't understand the settings.
Yep. You don't.
I've done it. I've done it with a TV before.
Yeah. Theater mode and sports mode, and
back in the day when I didn't understand that stuff quite as well.
And the lighting, that's another key point. A lot of people understand the lighting in the store. Go to the TV section. That lighting is specially designed in that particular spot, arranged in that spot to amplify what you see on screen. Notice the cheap TVs in the back. They're always in the dark corner. They're always off in the dark.
A little side note here. If Best Buy really wanted to step their game up and promote their stuff in the stores, they would have a little section, like a little cubby section in the middle of the store. And it would just be a dude gaming all day on their best shit.
On their best. Yeah.
On their best shit. And you just be sitting there gaming. His only job is to sit there and game.
Bro, I would.
That's it.
You need me 9 to 5. I'll be there. I'll work weekends. Let's go.
He can do whatever he wants. He just sits there and games just to show off like the capabilities of all their stuff.
Yep, that would be the best job. The best. All right. And then speaking of the best, as always, and I'm sure this is everyone's favorite part, moving on to our anime picks of the week and what made the cut. And I guess I've been on like a wholesome anime kick for the last couple weeks, mainly because like Overlord was making me mad, and then life was making me
You
mad.
were getting real salty about
Overlord.
And it's been hard for me because I've read ahead. I haven't read to the I haven't read up to chapter volume 15 yet. I'm at volume 13 myself. That's where I stopped at, which is basically what the movie, when they drop the movie, I think it's going to cover 12 and 13 or something. So it's been hard for me to bite my tongue as you get pissed.
I've been getting mad.
Questions. I'm like, because I'm like, do I want to ruin his day or make it better? I don't know. But
wow, the fact that you have either of those options, it just shows I
have plenty of options, man.
Because I'm so caught up in reading other things. I'm like, no, I need to finish the stuff I'm already reading before I even try to go into the deep history manga and light novels of Overlord, because that would need 100% commitment. So I've just had the anime and I'm like, it's stressing me out. So I needed some feel good. And last week I had a romance feel good. And this week I have more of it's like a light romance, but mostly comedy feel good. And it's called Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out. And once again, this was me clicking something and just saying, you know what? Let me try it. Let me see what it's like.
The best way to discover new anime is like, you just kind of go through and like, okay, I'll try that out. Nope. And you're like bored. You just try out animes. Don't even look them up. See what it's about. Just click on it, man. I discovered a lot of animes that way.
And this one is really, really good because it's about two college students. One's a sophomore and his junior. They used to go to high school together and they used to be on the swim team together. And he pretty much he's a really good guy. He's really helpful. He's really polite. But he's a loner and he has what anime likes to call like mean eyes. He has these sharp eyes. So whenever he looks at people, they think he's about to beat them up, but he's really not. It's just the way his facial expression is. And his junior knows his real personality. He's this real cool guy. And she spent a whole year watching his college life and it was just kind of like passing him by. He just spent it all by himself. So then she decided for the next year, she was going to hang out with him every single day. And just watching their chemistry and the hilarious situations they wind up in I promise you'll rewind certain parts because it's just so doggone hilarious. Because you get this guy who loves his peace, his quiet, he just wants to be alone. And then this high energy, bubbly, 4 foot tall chick that just comes in and is just like, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And it's just so hilarious watching these two go back and forth. And once again, just like the one I recommended last week, Watakoi, there's just not enough episodes. It's just not enough episodes. So if you're looking for something that's just a real feel good, just a makes you chuckle, Uzaki-chan wants to hang out. Definitely worth it. Especially after like I would say it's definitely a good one to watch after you've probably had like a really busy day and you want something that's entirely stress free and drama free. This whole show is definitely that, and definitely worth checking out. So that's my pick of the week. Maybe next week I'll have something more action oriented, but like I said, I've been needing some feel good shows. So
I got into comedy anime several months ago. It's not I at the time, um I think a lot of us were kind of waiting on all the ones that are more popular and we really enjoy.
mhm.
And I just found myself kind of rewatching stuff. And I had never really watched comedy anime before, and it's actually pretty damn good. A lot of it's really funny, people. I was surprised.
Yeah.
For me, I kind of have two things to say. The first thing's a manga, guys. I started reading the Berserk manga. I can't afford to go online and buy all the damn volumes, because Jesus Christ, if you want all the volumes that are currently released right now since 19, I think they started being released. The first one was in 1989, I think.
Mhm.
Um, it was like 500 after taxes, 500 like $80 or so for like all of them. And I was like, you know what? Let me see if there's an online version. And I feel a little bad about this because I don't like taking stuff for free and not giving some kind of contribution to
Mhm.
the author.
Yeah.
But I gave myself a pass, guys. I'm gonna be honest. I gave myself a pass. I've never done it before, but I'm halfway done. I think I'm on chapter one. I'm on like 142 or something. And I just want to say that, there was a lot of complaints with the Berserk anime that it various things. A lot of it was the 1997 was good, but it didn't quite match the anime or the manga. And then the new one, or I say the new one, eh, and they called it a reboot. It really is a continuation. They have season 1 and 2 of Berserk from 2015 and 16, I think it is,
Man, has
or
it already been
just
that long?
2016. Yeah, but it's really a continuation of the original one. And people, as usual, they complain about the
Yeah.
visuals, which were kind of weird. Um, and then the storyline. And now that I've read the manga and I've gone through the initial story that was animated, and then now I'm like past that. Guys, they didn't really leave a whole lot out. There was a couple of scenes that were really cool that I feel like they should have put in, but they weren't game changing for the story. There was like 2 or 3 fights that they removed that they didn't put in the anime. But I'm telling you guys, like word for word, it's pretty on point. So I don't know what anyone's talking about. It kind of made me wonder, like, do people just say this stuff
Just
just to say it?
Yeah.
Because I watched all the animes, I watched the movie remakes, or I say remakes, but the whatever, the ones that you can go on Netflix and watch. And yeah, word for word, it's pretty on point, people. So I don't know. Um, anyways, I think my anime pick of the week, I think, is going to be Vampire in the Garden on Netflix.
Hmm.
It was it's an original story, and it was created by Wit Studio. They did all the animation. Um, it is a solid anime. I will say that Netflix likes to throw their damn logo on stuff, like they're the ones that were behind it. They were not. It's a Japanese like original story from Wit Studio. Um, and Netflix just simply purchased the rights to be the sole streamer of it, and that's why they get to put their logo on it. But it is I think it's only what 12 episodes long, or not even, dude. It's shorter than that.
It was like 9 or something.
It's like 9, yeah. But I think it's getting a second season. But it's just a great story about two worlds that collide, and we have a human that meets a vampire, and things just go from there. And it's chaos, but it's beautifully written chaos. And honestly, I was impressed. The first time I watched it, I feel like I didn't really like pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
I rewatched it recently, a couple weeks ago, and it was just really good. I felt like it was a really great, I'll call it a short story.
And sometimes that's what you have to do with certain shows. You got to give them a rewatch.
Yeah, and it's not like I thought it was bad. I just really didn't sit down and watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm that way with some shows too. I've actually gone back and started rewatching things I watched when I was in high school, and like actually when they came out. And you want to talk about like, man, our culture has changed. The stuff we got in anime in high school was definitely more raunchy and mature than the stuff we get today. And before I was like, I couldn't really watch it because I was like, man, I can't watch this. My mom walk in trying to explain this. So I could never really appreciate the story, appreciate the scenes, but never could appreciate the story. Now I'm going back and rewatching, and I'm like, damn, these were actually some good stories. like, yeah, there's fan service art, but they make it work with the story. It's not all there just for the sake of being there.
Right. And that's the thing that I've come to understand about anime after watching it since I was probably like 12 or 13. You don't really understand, like even like Naruto and One Piece, like there's a lot of the stuff you don't really truly understand enough to appreciate in the storytelling and character development until you get older and you rewatch this stuff without the weekly gaps of waiting for the next episode. And then you're like, holy crap, like this was actually a really great story overall.
Yeah.
You just can't really appreciate it till you're older.
Yeah. 100%. But anyway, guys, we are at the end of the episode. I know you guys are so sad you hate it when we're leaving, but let us know your thoughts. Let us know your comments. As always, you can go to our website, osn-media.com, click on the show tab and pick the GZ Chop Shop podcast. And right at the top, you can submit your audio clip for your thoughts on anything we covered in this episode, a past episode. We would love to hear from you guys. We would love your input. And this way we can connect with you guys, and we might pick a few of those to play on a future episode. So then you can tell your friends, hey, check out the GZ Chop Shop podcast. I was on it, sort of. So make sure to check it out. Also, if you guys love what we do and you want to help support us, check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/OSN Media. There you can get all these episodes totally ad-free and early. So definitely check that out. Also, we put up polls and get to converse with you guys directly. So we'd love to hear from you there as well. And hit us up on social media. Follow our pages. All of those will be in the links under the show description. So make sure to check those out. Anyway, you guys have been amazing. Thank you for spending some of your time with us. Take care of yourself and each other. And we'll catch all of you wonderful people